Take, for example, the common diagnosis of bipolar disorder. This diagnosis is associated with mood swings from deeply depressive to manic highs. The depressed phase includes symptoms such as low energy, low motivation, and loss of interest in daily activities. And the manic episodes include symptoms like high energy, reduced need for sleep, and in some cases, loss of touch with everyday reality. In the US alone, there are 3 million cases diagnosed per year. The conventional wisdom about this illness is that it lasts your whole lifetime, which means you'll always need medication, talk therapy, and systems for managing your symptoms. If you examine these criteria a bit closer, however, you enter into murky waters. Low energy and low motivation? How low? What's the threshold where feeling tired and unmotivated becomes a disease? Who and what determines this? Similarly, high energy and reduced need for sleep? How high can you go before you have the disease? There's simply no quantitative criteria. Now, loss of touch with reality is a bit more of a complex notion that I'll hack into in the next episode when I give you a case example that illustrates how to work with these powerful mood swings. The idea of bipolar disorder is that some people have too much fluctuation in their high and low moods. But again, how much is too much, and how do we know when someone has arrived at this level? Even if there was a way to measure mood fluctuations, how would we know what level constitutes a disease? And here's where it really goes off the rails. If these vague criteria are arrived at by consensus within a group of psychologists instead of by scientific research, wouldn't that mean the diagnostic elements could be manipulated to alter the frequency of the diagnosis? If there are no hard parameters to adhere to, couldn't these folks arbitrarily decide who's sick simply by changing the rules? The answer is yes. In the 1990s, the authors of the DSM decided to lower the threshold for the manic side of the bipolar equation. They said you don't need to go crazy ecstatic high. You just need to get into a nice state of mind where you feel really good. Well, guess what happened? Diagnoses skyrocketed. Everyone and his sister suddenly had bipolar disorder because you no longer needed to flip out to get the diagnosis. All you needed to do was go back and forth between feeling depressed and being happy. People didn't change, nor did the incidence of the condition. Only the diagnostic criteria changed. So in effect, the diagnostic manual created an epidemic. I wanted to get a broader understanding of this, so I researched what else was happening in psychiatry at the time. And what I found shocked me. The change to the disease criteria occurred at the exact same time that antipsychotic drugs were being rebranded as mood stabilizers, the treatment of choice for bipolar disorder. When I dug into this further, I discovered a pattern. New diagnostic criteria and even brand new diseases often appear in the manual at exactly the same time that new psychiatric drugs which treat those diseases are brought to market. Coincidence? I don't think so. Flash forward to today, and everyone seems to have bipolar disorder. More people don't have the condition, it's just easier to get the diagnosis. Oh, I forgot to mention this. 100% of the manual's authors have financial investments in the pharmaceutical industry.